The spotlight effect. Why everyone isn't thinking about you. Think about the most embarrassing thing you've done recently. Maybe you tripped walking into class. Maybe you said something awkward. Maybe you waved back at someone who wasn't waving at you. Painful. And here's the worst part, you still remember it. In fact, there's a good chance you randomly think about it before falling asleep. But here's the strange question. Does anyone else remember it? Probably not. Psychologists have a name for this, the spotlight effect. And once you understand it, you'll realize something shocking. Most people aren't thinking about you nearly as much as you think they are. Let's start with a simple experiment. Imagine you walk into a crowded room wearing the most embarrassing shirt you own. Maybe it's bright neon green. Maybe it has a giant picture of a cat on it. Maybe it says something ridiculous. Immediately, your brain starts panicking. Everyone is staring. Everyone noticed. Everyone is judging me. But researchers actually tested this. They made college students wear embarrassing t-shirts into a room full of strangers. Then they asked the students a question. What percentage of people noticed your shirt? The students thought about half the room noticed. But the real number was much lower. Most people didn't notice at all. And the few who did quickly forgot about it. That's because everyone in that room had their own problems, their own worries, their own spotlight. And that's the secret. You are the center of your world, but you're not the center of everyone else's. Think about your day. How much time do you spend thinking about yourself? A lot. You think about your appearance, your future, your mistakes, your problems, your goals. Now think about everyone around you. They're doing the exact same thing. The person you think is judging you, they're probably worried about something embarrassing they did last week. The person sitting across from you, they're wondering what other people think about them. Everyone is trapped inside their own little spotlight, which means nobody has enough attention left over to focus on yours. And yet our brains refuse to believe this. Why? Because of survival. Thousands of years ago, humans lived in small tribes. Your reputation mattered. Being accepted by the group could mean the difference between life and death. If everyone disliked you, you might lose protection, food, or support. So your brain evolved to constantly monitor social situations. It became obsessed with questions like, do they like me? Do they respect me? Am I fitting in? The problem is that your brain still uses that ancient software today. Except now you're surrounded by hundreds or thousands of people. School, work, social media, strangers. Your brain treats every interaction like it's a life or death situation, even when it isn't. This is why social media makes the spotlight effect even worse. Imagine posting a photo online. 5 minutes later, you're checking the likes. 10 minutes later, you're checking again, then again, and again. You start imagining what everyone thinks about it. Do they like it? Do they hate it? Should I delete it? But here's the reality. Most people scrolled past it in less than 2 seconds. Not because they dislike you, because they're busy thinking about themselves, just like you are. Now let's talk about mistakes, because this is where the spotlight effect gets really powerful. Imagine you give a presentation and accidentally mess up a word. Your brain immediately sounds the alarm. Everyone noticed. Everyone thinks I'm stupid. I'll never recover from this. But if someone else made the same mistake during a presentation, what would you think? Probably nothing. You might not even remember it 5 minutes later. And that's exactly how other people feel about your mistakes. Most people are far more forgiving than we imagine. The problem is that we experience our mistakes from the inside. We feel every second of embarrassment. Everyone else experiences them from the outside. To them, it's just a tiny moment. To you, it feels like the end of the world. Here's a challenge. Try remembering an embarrassing thing someone else did last month. It's hard, isn't it? Now think about how many embarrassing things you've done. You remember all of them. That's the spotlight effect in action. Your brain records your mistakes in high definition. Everyone else barely notices them. And once you realize this, something amazing happens. You become freer. You stop overthinking every little thing. You stop replaying conversations over and over. You stop worrying about whether people notice that tiny mistake. Because the truth is, they probably didn't. And if they did, they probably forgot already. The funny part is that everyone is walking around with the same fear. Everyone thinks they're being watched. Everyone thinks they're being judged. Everyone thinks they're standing under a spotlight, when in reality, every single person is holding their own spotlight and pointing it at themselves. So, the next time you feel embarrassed, The next time you think everyone is staring, the next time you make a mistake and feel like the world noticed, remember this: you are the main character in your story. Everyone else is the main character in theirs. And that's one of the most freeing truths you'll ever learn. Because once you understand the spotlight effect, you realize the audience you were afraid of was never really watching in the first place.